Actually, I can actually cook sometimes.
Like,
Oh, what is that?
why did we bring him on here? Yeah, you can cook, my
You can
friend.
cook.
Yeah.
I'm bad.
Welcome to Nourished by Spinneys, our award-winning show where we inspire you to eat well and live well. I'm Tiffany Eslick.
And I'm Devina, Divecha. And would you believe it? Our Christmas special is already here.
I can't believe it's December already. I feel like I've been living Christmas since July when we started creating all our content for this period. But yes, Christmas is here, and we recently cooked up an amazing dish with Chef Kelvin with Brussels sprouts and beef bacon and maple syrup and all sorts.
And we actually ended up teasing that during another episode, which we had to do because we were recording the intro for our episode with Chef Suleiman Haddad from Moonrise.
Exactly. And I think I ate most of the plate that we were trying to share. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I got a good amount in. Thank you.
And I'm definitely going to be making this dish on Christmas Day.
And we got to sit down, or rather stand next to Chef Kelvin while he made this dish right in front of us, his take on Brussels sprouts. And it was, as you said, delicious. Chef Kelvin is so much fun to cook next to and talk to. And he's behind, obviously, Jun's, which is an award-winning restaurant in downtown Dubai. He's got a few other concepts around town as well.
Yeah, so he's got Juxing at Neighborhood Food Hall in Motor City and Little June's at Time Out Market.
And it's at Juxing where they launched the Chinese chippy dish that he told us about, which sounded amazing, by the way. I can't wait to try that out. And they also now have 852 Bakery inside Jun's, which is the pop-up every weekend. That also sounds delicious.
Yeah, so the pop-up is already so popular. Karen from our team went last weekend and she couldn't stop raving about that pineapple bun that Chef Kelvin mentions on the podcast. So keep listening, guys, for that. It sounded delicious when he was talking about it. She's raved about it.
So basically, this is a warning for all our listeners. Do not listen to this on an empty stomach.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for coming. And I want to ask this question immediately because we are really close and in your space. How do you feel about cooking with other people right next to you in the kitchen?
It's a very
Who
different...
aren't chefs?
It's a very different sort of vibe when it's in a home setting.
Yeah.
You always get that sense of home and family and such. But I've been doing it since, I think I was like 15 or 16. We have a set of friends. There's 4 of us. And we've had these monthly, which I've extended now because we have all moved to different countries, get-togethers where we would just cook together. And it became this like 2-hour thing, which it became like a 4-hour thing, which it became like a 10-hour thing. And we just spend the day together and we just cook and eat and then like have wine. And it just became this whole kind of event where we got to spend time together. And everyone's in each other's business because you're just in tight quarters and just like in each other's way. So it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay, good. I'll get a little bit closer.
Service would be different though.
Yeah.
If it wasn't in my kitchen during service, then different story.
Get out.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have Bodhi in the kitchen all the time.
All the time.
From what I see on the social
All the time.
media.
He
So
loves it.
yeah.
It's kind of one of the things that I find very important, even though I don't want him to be a chef. That's a hot take. But I want him to be at least comfortable in the kitchen. I want
Yeah.
him to be able to cook for himself, to cook for his future partner, his future family. I think it's a very important skill set that a lot of the younger generation today has no clue what they're doing. But I want him to at least be comfortable in the kitchen.
Yeah, he'll be high in demand. Skills, yeah.
But what are we cooking today, actually?
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things that were newer to our family.
Okay.
It was introduced much, much later on when we had a Christmas at one of our extended family's houses. On my mother's side, some of the family grew up in London and they wanted to make us a very British UK style kind of Christmas, which is very different from ours, right? It was one of the first times that we had like turkey and ham and all the sides and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things my mom fell in love with was roasted Brussels sprouts. But we always did it with kind of a very Chinese kind of twist to it and
Yeah.
a flavor profile. But it's something that I absolutely love.
Great. I'm so glad you chose Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. Excited.
Yeah, we were chatting about them earlier, and you said that you feel that they're sort of like the unsung heroes, of the festive table. So, yeah, good choice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Brussels sprouts just get a bad rap, right? Because
Yeah.
I think 9 out of 10 Brussels sprout dishes are terrible. because people will either mishandle them, they'll overcook them, and it just turns into this mushy pile of like gross
Yeah.
green stuff, brown stuff, right?
Yeah.
But when they're done well, they're beautiful.
Mm.
That's absolute favorite.
Let's crank the beast up. What else kind of immediately comes to mind to you when you think of festive food?
Festive food, I feel like it always has to be things that are done in large format, where you have the gathering, where you have the ability to kind of have these extended, prolonged meals where you can share things. And there's always these certain flavor profiles and smells which always they immediately evoke that kind of festive kind of flavor profiles, right?
Yeah.
You get a lot of warm spices, the cinnamon, the citrus, and then you have the big hearty dishes like the big old turkeys and the big old prime ribs and stuff like that. Those things kind of evoke those kind of emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I think it's always the Christmas cake. That's my mom always starts that like at least 2 months before,
Yeah.
and it's that smell. And she always in South Africa because it's hot. I think I've spoken about this before. Is wearing her swimsuit because she'll jump in the pool afterwards because it's such a hot, lengthy process. So it's little mum in a swimsuit and sarong making Christmas cake.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah. Do you always add like a bit of a twist to everything, or do you do any kind of like straight up festive food?
I think it just depends on the mood. I just find a lot of these recipes now, they tend to get a little archaic, and the meal itself becomes a little almost too indulgent and too heavy. So given the small little twists and turns that we can always add, makes things a bit lighter, a bit more easy to eat more of.
Is that almost part of, when you've talked a lot about your style of cooking, you've called it third culture quite a bit. Is that something that you think about, or it kind of unconsciously guides you while you're creating these dishes as well?
It's just a part of me now. I'm a third culture kid.
Yeah.
Born Chinese, born Canadian, was never Chinese enough for the Chinese community, was never Canadian enough for the Canadian community. And it kind of went hand in hand with my cooking style, right? In my father's kitchens, his team would always make fun of me because I was, too Canadian for them. But the same went when I finally left and ventured off for my first taste of European kitchens. I was always a weird Asian kid who didn't grow up with all these kind of European flavors. So it took a lot for me to kind of outwork them, kind of be able to cook better and go faster and really earn everyone's respect. But through those kind of trials and journey and the evolution of my food and all this, it's kind of become how I enjoy to cook now.
Yeah.
That's why we have coined the term when we opened June's, the third culture cooking, the borderless kind of cuisine, because I feel like the turn and change of what I cook now, there's no way to put it in a box.
Right, yeah.
And I feel like we shouldn't have to. Why should I have to tell people that I cook Chinese food or I cook Japanese food or even Asian food? Why do we need to label it? Why can't it just be delicious Kelvin food?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the direction that it's taken. And it just becomes, it's the way I cook now. So I don't have to intentionally think anymore and be like, oh, let's go make whatever, a Japanese or a Thai or whatever. It doesn't happen like that anymore. It's just automatic now. And that's just the way I like to cook.
I'll never forget the first time I had your carrots at June's. Well, yeah, never forgotten that. So we're frying up some beef bacon to go on top of the Brussels sprouts, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the nature, they're essentially just baby cabbages. They absorb beautiful, beautiful flavors. And a way to impart extra flavor is to give some sort of flavored fat into it.
Right.
And what's better than bacon fat?
Yeah.
And also, once the Brussels sprouts are roasted off, you save the bacon and you have this nice crunchy texture to go on top as well, right? So it's a good way to kind of sneak in some extra flavor. And it's almost a guarantee that everyone at the table will enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's an easy win.
Smells so good.
So while we're doing that, and we're just cooking it slowly, we're rendering it out, trying to extract as much of that fat as possible while getting it crispy. That's why I didn't cut it too small yet. One thing that is important with Brussels sprouts is we do have to remember that they are in the soil, so they're quite dirty. I like to try to trim the ends off and then I always throw it in a big bowl of water. But because, again, it is a cabbage, they do absorb a lot of that water. So it's one of the vegetables that I always tend to prep the night before if possible. If not, then I'll try to make sure that I get it done at least 20-25 minutes before I start cooking. You want them as dry as possible so that when you do start roasting them, you can caramelize them properly. Otherwise, if you get them straight from the water, they're like little sponges, and then you'll end up steaming them. And that's how so oftentimes I think people get that overcooked, mushy, brown, gross kind of green and mystery vegetable, right?
Yeah, so that's where they're going wrong. And so many people do.
Yes.
It's quite cute to think of them as little baby cabbages. Hey?
Yeah.
I mean, they are. We just forget, right?
Yeah,
They are. They're literally just tiny baby cabbages.
Yeah. Do you have like one signature Christmas dish?
I feel like it's kind of evolved over the years. In my father's restaurants, we were always too busy to celebrate Christmas. So all the suppliers would know this, and a week after New Year's, they would always give us like 6-7 prime ribs or like 50 kgs of lobster, like a whole thing.
Okay.
We had a huge restaurant.
Yeah.
But we would get all these kind of fun little presents from the suppliers, and we would shut for the day so that I could cook for our team. And once I was old enough, I just became nominated for it. My dad would just look at me and be like, I don't know how to make Christmas food.
You do
Go
it.
for it. And I would have to cook for 100, 150 people because we would invite not only just a team, but their whole families.
Yeah,
Because they never
okay.
got to do
Yeah,
the Christmas festive meal with their family.
Yeah.
So my father felt it was very important that we gave them the day to kind of enjoy that. But except for me, because I would be cooking.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the time, I think everyone would try to help. Like even his team would try to help. And they could handle the lobster and the vegetables and stuff. So I was always left to do the bigger projects, like doing the turkey and prime rib and stuff like that, because that was a very foreign thing in a Chinese kitchen.
I'm still scared of turkey. Like, we didn't grow up eating that in South Africa, really. And so I've only sort of started eating it since moving here and having friends, and also when I lived in the UK.
Yeah.
But yeah, I steer away from cooking it. What's your secret?
The two basics for a turkey is just the brine. Always brine it at least a couple days ahead of time. And then ensuring that you give it enough time to dry out again afterwards. That way you get that beautiful golden crispy skin. I think that's key. And then the second part is fat. I literally stuff like almost like equal parts butter to my turkey. Like you'll see like inside the skin, there's like blocks of butter in it. And then it turns into this magical, beautiful like creature.
Oh my gosh, divine.
Yeah. I love turkey. It's one of the things that oftentimes people just hate because they've had terrible versions of it. And sadly, my wife doesn't like it either.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Andrea's like, no, do not give me that. But she loves when I cook turkey because when I make turkey, that means I'm going to have like 12 side dishes.
Okay,
She's there for the sides.
Okay, yeah.
So is turkey normally now what you make for Christmas at home, or?
Generally, it'll be some hunk of meat.
Okay.
So generally, I'll do a prime rib and I will do the turkey, only because I feel like it's kind of incomplete without it. You can have a prime rib dinner almost at any other time, but the turkey is kind of reserved for these kind of like special times, right? It's either like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and that's about it. It's like the only times I get to have it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget. We had our first Christmas shoot for Spinneys for the magazine, and we'd ordered these turkeys, and they came frozen. And there was a problem. Anyway, my designer ended up having 2 turkeys in her bath at home, rapidly trying to defrost them. And she just sent me pictures throughout the evening of like the update on these 2.
People underestimate how big the thing is.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh no, I took it out last night. I don't know why it's not ready.
Yeah.
And it's like, you realize it takes like a week for this thing to damn defrost, right?
Yeah.
It's like an iceberg, like it's literally a boulder of ice. It takes a lot longer than a couple hours,
And will it fit in your oven? I mean, that's always something to like look
where do you
at.
store it?
Yeah.
Where do you defrost it? Where do you brine it? And then where do you cook it?
Yeah.
Like it's a very tough thing for a lot of people to do. And these damn things have gotten bigger and bigger over the years, right? Like it started off like a normal turkey would feed 4 or 5 people and it would be like, oh, 3 kgs.
Yeah.
And now you're getting like 8 kg turkeys, which are like the size of like a lion, right? Like it's not normal.
Next will be like ostrich size.
Yeah, like it's not. They're not supposed to be that big.
So you've got a lot going on at the moment.
We do.
Like whenever I see you, like
It's been
crazy busy.
I'm never gonna complain about being busy. It's been a very blessed experience since we've come to Dubai, and we continually push. We continually take on as many things as humanly possible. So this year we went from the US to Jordan, to Egypt, to Japan, then Moscow, then Bahrain. But it's been nonstop.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, been focusing on creating the new tasting menu. It's been a year in the making.
Yeah.
A lot of the sauces, misos and such, we started last year.
Okay.
So it's been a year since I've been kind of trying to build out this thing, and we're ready to go. So if you want to come try the new tasting menu, it's ready.
Amazing.
Nice.
Can you give us some hints on what's on it?
So the whole idea is the tasting menu is always to take you on part of my journey throughout my career. And it always weirds people out to say this, but I've been cooking for 33 years. So it's been a long journey.
How old were you when you started?
It's the magic of the collagen that I get from my family.
Amazing.
I know this year we have so many amazing restaurants in Dubai now. So many crazy, insane chefs who are doing these crazy, beautiful tasting menus. Instead of chasing and trying to follow their footsteps, I wanted to be more me this year. So this menu is kind of like a deeper dive. A lot of the recipes are directly from my father's restaurant.
Oh, lovely.
Inspiration from things that have that kind of more Chinese kind of flavor profile, that impact. So it's a bit of a outside the box style tasting menu, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's a deeper dive into Kelvin's journey.
Amazing.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super fun.
Love to try that.
Interesting.
And what about the other concept? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Juxing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us more about that, because that was cool when you opened up as well.
So Juxing is our kind of fun Chinese American takeaway. I just miss that food.
Yeah.
People kind of look down on it because it's oftentimes seen as like that cheap, dirty Chinese takeaways kind of thing. But it's not. It doesn't have to be. When it's done well, it's just delicious. It's beautiful. So I just crave it. So we thought there was a gap in the market. It'd be fun. And there you can just get that Chinese takeaway kind of style food, like Mongolian beef and Kung Pao and crab rangoon, but still very Kelvin. So we're still using better quality proteins, still executing it the way I want to execute it. I don't know. Have you ever been to a chip house in the UK? Or a chippy spot?
Yeah.
So one of the very popular UK chippies are Chinese chippies. And what they do is, it sounds weird, trust me, but wait till you try it. Imagine beautifully crispy fries
Okay.
and your favorite Chinese dish, whether it's
Sure.
Kung Pao beef or Mongolian chicken or something. And what they do is, when they just about to finish the wok fried dish, they put the fries in.
Oh,
And they toss it together and they serve it to you immediately. And then you get this pile of your favorite whatever stir fry dish, whether say yours is Mongolian beef, and crispy fries, which have been tossed in, which are still crispy.
Amazing.
And it's absorbed all that sauce.
Mouth is watering right now.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's really good.
Super cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's going to be added to the menu.
Yeah, they're super dangerous because my wife was like, "What is a Chinese chippy?"
Yeah.
And I just eat it. And then she's like, "Fine." And she like takes a bite. And then I went off to do something else and I came back and the plate was gone. She's like, "Why did you do this?" And I'm like, "Because they're delicious."
Yeah.
So
And life would be incomplete without them.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You've spoken like so much in the past and previous interviews, or when we've spoken about like where your inspiration comes from. But what are some of the like latest crazy sources of inspiration that you've had, and how's that turned out into on the plate, onto a dish?
what I do for June's is everything is based off of a memory. It's based off something I like to call like this nostalgic flavor bite. And the idea is that I will take flavors, dishes, things that I've had in my past or my journey, create a dish for them. And even though you grew up somewhere else, you grew up in a different part of the world, he grew up in a different part of the world, there's always something uniquely common within things that we've tasted and had, because food essentially is the common denominator for all of us. And even though you may not have had that particular dish, something within that dish hopefully will evoke that same connection and be able to connect us. So I do like to set aside some time. And again, I've been very blessed to be able to cook in different parts of the world. And I will always explore and eat and travel to look out for food. So a lot of those kind of brings kind of inspiration for those dishes. And it doesn't have to be going to a 3 Michelin star restaurant or something
Yeah.
like that. It can literally just be someone standing on the street, making something that you could find at the street stalls, and that alone can evoke a kind of idea or a memory for us.
Are there any specific dishes, throughout your, I guess now 33-year-long career, that you're really proud of when you created? Is it something special about it? If there's something you remember?
I mean, even recently, something that Tiff brought up was just the carrots. Who would have known that a carrot dish would
Yeah.
turn out to be one of the almost most unique and famous and popular dishes that we have at the restaurant? And I just wanted to use carrots that we were getting from our local farm.
Yeah.
And for some reason, all I could think about was our smoked salmon sandwiches that we had as kids. Again, but somehow the way your brain works
Yeah.
connects the dots, and magically it happens. So we got this nice crispy bacon. I've left approximately a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of fat in it. This is some of the Brussels sprouts, which we prepped earlier, which I've tried to dry out as much as possible. That way we'll get the nice, beautiful sear. So I'm going to try to lift this so you can see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay them down, face down, just to get the maximum amount of surface area, so that it can caramelize. And if you have the luxury of time, ideally you can just do a layer at a time. That we get them nice and caramelized. And trust me, there's been plenty of times where I've just dumped it in there because we got to cook and we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the ideal way to do it.
So I have a question about dream projects. So if you had no financial restrictions, no other kind of restrictions, nothing, world is literally your playground, what would your dream project be?
It's changed over the years, the answer. The young, ambitious, driven Chef Kelvin would have told you years ago to have the ultimate restaurant, which would serve this ultra fine dining, this beautiful setting with this magic kitchen and all this kind of whatnot, and all the equipment and all the toys. Now, to be honest, if I didn't have to worry about paying bills, if I didn't have to worry about supporting the family, if I didn't have to worry about retirement, nothing would make me happier than just to have a small, tiny 12, 15 person little shop and just cook 2-3 dishes and call it a day. Yeah, being able to just go to the market, pick up some stuff and just cook whatever. But the same, I'd be okay cooking the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. Listen to that. Right. Would it work if you tried this in like a really hot oven as well? Yeah.
I've done, because when I've had bigger dinners, we would just do trays of it.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't even bother turning on a roast anymore. I would just put enough fat on it, season it, and then just turn on broil.
Okay.
Just char it.
Yeah.
Just completely char it until you get nice color on it. But at home, you'd ideally want to do one pan. You don't want to do too much. You don't want to have a mess. Just one of those things, right? Like you have to realize you're not in a professional kitchen. So you have to make sure that you're comfortable doing it. And you're still getting a delicious dish. I usually will do this just before as one of the last dishes. That way it doesn't get mushy and overcooked. But there's always ways to cheat, like to have the bacon cooked off already, have everything cut and ready. I'll just char this one side and then take it out. And then just right before we serve, we'll go to cook toss.
We were talking about like what's going on in Dubai. It's like everything. I mean, it's just constantly on
there
steroids,
is
right?
a lot. Has
Too
it
much.
changed very much since you came here? Would
It
you
has.
say?
It has. I mean, even if you just look at, I think the number of homegrown brands. We're very blessed that our tight-knit little community of chefs, we all love each other and we're all quite supportive. So we always send people their way and promote each other. I think that's one of the beautiful parts of it. And this year we'll have, I think from last I heard by December, there's at least another 100 restaurants which are opening up, right?
Oh my gosh.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually, all the emails we received.
So that's one thing. Another thing, if you just look at the boulevard, right, where Juden's is located in downtown Dubai. When we first opened, downtown was notorious for being the tourist kind of area where there wasn't much food-centric kind of restaurants. And now you're seeing an explosion of more restaurants, which is great for us. A lot of people get confused when I say that because what it does is, for me, the more better quality restaurants are around us, it makes the vibe and the ambiance of the neighborhood turn to more food-centric. And that's how you build it, right? So more good restaurants, please come. There's a lot of places next to us. We always need, and I need more places to go eat too. It's not a bad thing.
Have you seen this sort of super supportive community elsewhere? Is there anything that's similar to Dubai?
Our industry, in particular, is quite good about that sort of thing. We, as F&B industry people, whether you're a restaurateur, a somm, a bartender, a waiter, a chef, whatever it may be, we have very tough lives. There's not many benefits. Generally, the reward versus risk is quite off. You don't get paid very well. You don't have a lot of time with your family and friends. But the one thing that we do get as a perk is we do get the opportunity to take care of our fellow industry folk. And it's one of our favorite things to do, that whether it's someone in the industry and from the beverage side, the food side, the media side, whatever it may be, we get to extend that courtesy and hospitality to them. And it gets a little much because you usually get destroyed. Like if you go and you order 2 dishes, you end up with like 20 dishes. But it's fun for us. I think that's one of the beauties that we get to do, and we get to take care of each other.
So next I see you getting some chestnuts ready. And these are already roasted and peeled, because we thought not to torture you today. And also we couldn't find any others.
My mom was obsessed with these things when she had them for the very first time, because I think at my aunt's house, they roasted chestnuts and gave it to us after dinner. But we were like peeling them and just nibbling on them, and her mind was blown. So every Christmas after that, she would always get these chestnuts.
Oh, great.
But it would be our job. We would have to like poke them with forks.
Okay.
And then we'd have our little toaster oven, and we'd turn it on, throw the chestnuts in, and we go watch our Christmas movies and stuff. And like 30 minutes later, you just hear explosions because the chestnuts would explode, and we have to sit there and peel them for.
Right.
So it just became something I love to use whenever it's Christmas. And if you don't have access to roasted chestnuts, feel free to use pistachios, use almonds, anything. It's beautiful with this. Again, it's just to add another layer of texture, another layer of umami to the dish.
I love it when you go to countries and they're toasting them on the side of the road. Yeah, it's so good.
I think there's that in quite a few places where they do that, a different version of it, which is cool.
Talking on Christmas movies, what are your favorite Christmas movies?
Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Still awesome. Ralph is the best.
Yeah.
And then all the cartoons. I'm eagerly awaiting when I can start watching these Christmas cartoons with Bodhi.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. I'm just classic, like Love Actually, The Holiday. Yeah, I have to.
Love Actually is a classic.
Yeah. Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Although as a kid, I used to get quite scared for Kevin. Yeah.
When you look at it now, you're like, wait a second.
And probably because the threat of someone breaking in South Africa is very real.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Except for here.
Yeah, except for here.
Yeah, I grew up in Dubai, so no fears.
Yeah.
Zero fears about it. Just, I
had like, what is this burglary?
I think the first time I had to very much think about that is when I moved to the UK, and my parents were like, okay, you shouldn't stay in a ground floor apartment. I thought, what? Why? But if you grew up in Dubai, you don't really necessarily think about that so much. So that was an interesting switch.
These look so good.
They look really lovely. Nice
I love
color.
the way the vibrancy of the green comes out.
I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gonna poke one so you can see it. You get that nice, beautiful char. And they're pretty much cooked.
Okay, fantastic.
So at this point, what I do is I'll remove this. We'll add in our garnish. Saute it up with a bit of sauce, and then we'll season and taste.
Nice. Okay, great.
Okay. So now in the same pan, we have our brussels ready. I'm going to add a knob of butter to roast the chestnuts. We do have to be careful. We do have salted butter today. So again, that's salt there. So be careful with how much you use.
What do you tend to work with, salted or unsalted?
I like to cook with unsalted. I like to eat salted.
Yeah.
In our house, it was always unsalted butter. I think at least in Chinese households, the thought of having salted butter blew their minds, because they were like, oh, you don't need so much salt. It wasn't until much later on, until I met my wife, that we started having salted butter. And I'm just like, why do you have salted butter? I can add my own salt.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that's actually like delicious that you need it. Like, there's something like that tastes better with it.
I love to just have like lashings of it on fresh bread.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you ever had a pineapple bun?
No?
No.
So just what, like pineapple in butter, roasted
Okay.
pineapple? Or yeah.
First, let's explain what a
Yeah.
pineapple is.
Okay.
A pineapple bun is one of the traditional Hong Kong bakery baked
Okay.
goods.
Yeah.
The origins date from the time in the late 50s and 60s when the British were in Hong Kong, and the bakeries were just trying to figure out things to sell to them.
Okay.
So they found that a lot of the British Navy and soldiers like to consume a lot of pastries and scones and things like sweet breads. So they came up with this super fluffy, light baked bread that they put a topping almost on top, like a cracken. But when it cooked, it had brown square cracks, and they thought it looked like a pineapple, and they called it a pineapple bun.
Oh.
But it became such a cultural phenomenon that the idea of grabbing a pineapple bun with a Hong Kong milk tea, which is essentially just like
Yeah.
British style tea, became part of our diet. It was something that you had to either have for breakfast or when you're on the run and the go.
Nice.
But what's magical about it is you get this super fluffy, almost brioche-like dough with a sweet, crunchy crackling on top. And you pair it with this milk tea. But when you're just about to eat it, they warm it just ever so slightly, not toasted, just warmed. And they put a slab, like literally like a slab of salted butter in it. And the combination of this fluffy bun with this slab of butter and a sip of the tea,
Nice.
Can you put that on a menu somewhere, please?
it's coming soon.
Okay,
Ooh,
good.
okay.
I did not have that in Hong Kong, and now I'm
Oh
feeling
my gosh. It's
Oh wow, that is Hong Kong is awesome for food.
yeah,
Hey,
and it was one of those things that we didn't have very much money as kids.
Yeah.
So we would get one every like couple of weeks to share. And we'd always fight over like, the chunk of the butter and stuff, right? So we love it.
Please text me as soon as it's come.
Coming soon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you frying these on quite a low heat.
I just let the butter
Okay.
get super foamy and brown. We'll just turn up a touch now, and then once it's nice and golden brown, we'll add our Brussels sprouts in. We'll give it a touch of seasoning. So we like to add a bit of umami, so we'll season it up with just a couple drops of oyster, and a couple drops of soy sauce, because the soy sauce will caramelize it even further to get that nice golden brown. Then we'll just give it a bit of acidity and sweetness to balance out, and then we're ready to roll.
Nice.
Now, one thing you can do at this point is if your family likes spice, feel free to add your chili flakes or chilies into it.
Yeah.
We're lovers of spice in our house. So at every opportunity, we always add something spicy to it.
Yeah.
So I do like to add a touch of chili into this. Feel free to omit if you guys don't like spice.
Do you have a favorite ingredient you like to cook with?
That always changes from time to time, again, depending on the season and my mood. I'm in this really strange miso phase now. And I don't know if it's because of on our trip to Japan recently, I had the opportunity to go to the miso factories.
Oh, nice.
And actually see traditional how it's made. But in June's, I've been lucky enough to have the time and space to start our little fermentation lab.
Nice.
Especially with all the work that we're doing on the tasting menus.
Yeah.
So on this current tasting menu that we're doing, I started miso last year for this menu.
Right.
So we have a batch of 1-year-old miso
wow.
that we made
Okay.
ourselves. That's ready to go on the menu.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Is the lab something that, like, if someone comes to June's and wants to come and see, can you take them back?
Oh, totally. Because I don't have enough space for an actual lab.
Yeah.
Our lab
Is a table? No, I don't know.
it's I've hidden it behind our wine fridges
Okay.
Oh,
because the
okay.
wine fridges pump off enough
Yeah.
heat from the fans
Oh,
to keep it
okay.
nice and warm. I'm just going to garnish with a little bit of bacon inside and then a little bit on top, and then we're ready.
Mm.
That's so quick and easy, actually. Even while you've got two people firing questions.
Yeah.
So easy, so easy. If you had time at home, I would add some garlic and some shallots and a bunch of things to build the flavors out. This is just
Yes.
like the very basic kind of introductory version, so that if you are inclined to give this a whirl, this
Yeah.
is what I would start with, and then add and just play with it, right?
Yeah.
So while you play it, I think we should ask our podcast question.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes. Which is, what is it that nourishes your soul?
Seeing people have that bite. And it's not something that happens, like you don't see someone doing it every single bite.
Sure.
But that first bite when they sit and they get it and you see that like connection where it has that light bulb go off, that light bulb moment, and you see them enjoy it. That's like
That's it.
purpose, right? For a chef, right?
Yeah.
And it's exponentially greater when you see your partner, like when I make something for Andrea or when I make something for Bodhi. That alone is just like magic, right? Funny enough, it's one of those weird nostalgia things. It's been over the last week. Both my parents aren't here anymore, and because we're talking about festive times, just imagining being able to cook for them and having them have that aha moment was like something super cool. So like now it's like I get to do it with Bodhi and Andrea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they also your harshest critics?
I think we have to look at it at a different perspective. I think when you are pushing to have a certain level of success, it's human nature to kind of get lost. You get lost in the sun, the stars, and the moons. You need a partner who is strong enough to always reel you back in. And that's kind of one of like the magical things that my wife does for me. All right, there we go.
Yeah,
There we
let's
go.
taste. That looks amazing.
That looks
Thank
really
you.
good.
You're going with giant spoons. Yeah.
Festive colors.
How did you even find these in this room?
I put them there.
Yeah. Thank you. Merry early season to you, Devina.
Yes, Christmas has come
Yeah.
early.
It's always good.
See,
Brussels sprouts don't have to be mushy and brown and gross. They can be still crunchy, al dente, still have their own character, but you get the bites of nuts and chestnuts and bacon, the salty bites,
This is really
bit of
nice.
acidity, a bit of heat. Like it's
The
it
char
could be
on
fun.
them is so nice.
Little
And like
smoky.
the crunch. Oh, it's perfect.
Good.
And I like it with the chili and the
Yeah.
Oh, how do you divide your time between all those spots at the moment?
You don't.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, again, unless you have a partner who actually gets it, it's not going to work. You know, like this past 2 weeks, because we've been doing this push for the menu, I've been getting home around 1:30. But it's our rule of thumb. I'll wake up same time as Andrea, 5:30, latest 6 if I had a really late night. That way we get that kind of 30 minutes of just me and her.
Yeah.
We have our coffee, you know, it's kind of like our time. Then she'll jump in the shower, Bodhi will wake up, make him breakfast, make her breakfast, make him lunch, make her lunch, drop him off to school, head to work. I try to pump out as much work as possible so that I can sneak out after lunch service to pick him up from school. And then that's kind of like my magic window again. I can get at least, on busy days, only an hour, but on better days, I can do an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours of just him time. So it's just spending time with him. It's usually some sort of activity. So we'll ride a bike, we'll swim, we'll do something. Then she'll get off work and then we'll just trade and then I'll head off to work. So it's tough because in between all this, then I still have to head to Time Out Market for Little Junes. I have to head to Motor City to check on there. And I have to be present and active and be ready for service. So doing the 5-6 hour sleeps, it beats you up, right? And then Saturday, Sundays, I try to spend at least the morning with the family and do a family some family time at least.
Yeah.
And then again, amongst all this craziness, ideally, hopefully you get to spend at least 1-2 hour window of dinner, maybe with Andrea at some point, which we've been terrible at over the last month. I think it's only happened once in the last couple of months. But hopefully it'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, it's tough. But you try, you push.
Yeah. And you always look so awake and friendly whenever I see you.
It's my personality, I think.
This episode was brought to you by Spinneys and was hosted by me, Divecha, Divecha, and Tiffany Eslick. We're produced by Chirag Desai. Don't forget to follow Spinneys on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok for more. And you can also visit us at spinneys.com, where you can shop for fresh produce and a variety of local and exclusive products.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode. See you then. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you so much.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Good.
Yeah. What else can we make?
Let's check.
Yeah.